right, that's it. That's the last part of the truck. It's done. You know, a good to-do list should last 2 years. And by that I mean this is an empty whiteboard. I already erased the old to-do list. It had fun things on it like, what are the wires behind the seat? I still don't know what those are. And fix the horn. The horn worked the whole time. It's funny to think about. Research air conditioning was on that list. I don't have a heater. So what's left? Well, kind of already gave it away that working on the rear dampers right now, so put that at the very top so we can cross it off when we finish. I still need to change the oil. When I rebuilt the engine, I didn't do a full rebuild. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're supposed to change the oil after you do anything inside of the engine because it sort of self-machines and you want to make sure that nothing's really bad in the oil and just give it a fresh start. So change the oil. The engine really doesn't like to start when it's cold out. And I mean, this is Southern California, so it doesn't really get cold out, but it's a little temperamental. So what we need to do is make some sort of choke system. The old engine had a divorced automatic choke. So there was a thermal spring that pulled the choke back on the engine. The choke limits the amount of air coming into the engine, so it runs rich, which helps it start. Couldn't get that little spring to work, and that just seems like really temperamental. So I bought a pull cable, and we'll just manually hook the choke up so that, like when you start a lawnmower, when you go to start this and it's cold out, you pull the choke, start it up, release the choke once it's running. Should be pretty straightforward. Famous last words. Almost forgot. We need to change the diff oil too. I never did that. I did change the transmission oil. If you remember the original list. Coolant gauge. I actually bought a new coolant sensor for the engine, and the coolant gauge still doesn't work, so I don't know. Might be the dash itself, the little transistor or the little resistor is wrong. Could be something else. I don't know. We'll find out. The big thing, the truck right now gets about 1 mile a gallon. Been using the truck for errands. I picked up a grill, took it to Home Depot a couple times. Pretty much every time I use it, I get stranded. And it's either the battery or the fuel. So I started just filling it with a 5-gallon gas jug before I go anywhere. I drove to Home Depot, did my thing, came out to leave, and the truck wouldn't start. Called my girlfriend. She came. We jump-started it. Still wouldn't start. Sent her to the gas station to get more gas, filled it back up, started up, drove it home. So Home Depot is about 4 miles away. I did let it warm up in the driveway first. So let's call it 1 mile a gallon. We're literally getting 1 mile per gallon. I don't think it's running rich because it doesn't smell. I don't have any fuel leaks anywhere. There's still fuel in the tank right now, and it's been months since that happened. So we got to figure out why it's getting 1 mile a gallon. The filler cap, I put a new filler cap on it. Sometimes it gets like really back pressured, and it's a vented cap. When I twist the cap off, it shoots gas vapors out. I worry that is why the truck doesn't run that well, because there's like some kind of vapor lock happening where it can't pull a vacuum on the tank. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? That filler cap was about $1, so I guess I can just keep buying them until they work. But really, to diagnose both of those, we have to make the fuel gauge work. That has never worked since I bought it. I don't even know how big the tank is, so it's kind of hard to know besides I put 5 gallons in and then ran out of gas situation. It's hard to know, what's really happening until we fix the fuel gauge. The seat's really bad. I feel like it's getting worse. I can't really tell. The passenger side has that big hole in it. The driver's side has a little hole. Seats are expensive. So the frame, the springs, it's all good. The foam is like $300, and then the upholstery is like another $300. I haven't put $600 into anything on this truck, so it's really hard for me to drop that on a seat, but it would be nice. I really just should go to a flea market and buy a blanket or something, but What else? There is still a giant hole in the floor. I think it's actually gotten worse. I took my buddy for a ride and I told him, don't put your foot right here. He heard, put your foot right there, and put his fat foot right through the floor. So you can really see the ground now when you're moving. The window regulator is still a little wonky. And by still, I mean I didn't do anything to it, so... That's just a quality of life thing. Honestly, the windows are always open, so I don't even really need it. And then I have changed my goals from research air conditioning to just get the heater working, and the cabin fan to at least get some air blowing. And it is pretty cold to drive this thing in the winter. What else? We got a couple optional things. We'll put when I redid the transmission, the tunnel comes up through the cab. So I destroyed the 1980s school bus rubber mats that were on the floor. That could be nicer. That's pretty much it. Now, one more thing. My favorite list item. There is still a bunch of wires behind the seat. Behind seat. I don't know where they go. They might not do anything. They might be the cause of all my problems. We're going to find out. So, these aren't that hard. Well, I say that now. I got a couple of videos queued up. I already have the parts for that. I already have the stuff for that. Can do that. This will be fun to troubleshoot. This will be fun to troubleshoot. This will be fun to troubleshoot. Refuse to spend the money on that. I'll do a whole video on welding at some point. That one should be pretty easy. This one will be really hard, and I'll probably end up not doing it. And I'm just going to leave that up there forever. It's fun. And then after all that, I don't know, sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Any of you want it? If you've been watching, you know that I'm the kind of guy who's just going to keep picking up projects and never finish any of them. It's part of my charm. But I have been pretty productive for 6 months. Just haven't been working on cars. I got in shape. I've been doing a lot of running. I built a whole paver patio. That's been a house project that's been on the list for a long time. I don't want you to think I was working on the Envoy, because I definitely wasn't doing that. Keeping busy, working. I don't do this for money, I'm not making any money off of this. No thanks to you guys. All right. Oh, come on. Fuck me. These are disgusting. So, these are dampers. If you don't know what a damper is, your springs are the things that hold up the car. Those bounce a lot. These are supposed to damp out the vibrations from the road. So when you see a really old car going down the road and it's just like bouncing, it's because these are shot. These, I think, are pretty shot. Ones on the front were pretty bad too. Bought these a long time ago, knowing I would do this someday. Ooh, yellow. I don't remember getting those. Made in USA. Wish they both had a sticker. Replacing dampers is, in theory, really easy. On some cars, the shocks and the springs are in one unit. That's called a coilover. On a truck like this, they're almost always separate. So I have a separate coil spring that holds up the weight of the vehicle, and then a separate damper that, absorbs the shocks from the road. So swapping out your dampers, they're not really under load. You just undo the bolts, pull them off, put the new ones back on. And the first one was about that easy. Unfortunately, those are the shots where I'm laying directly in front of the camera and captured almost nothing of value. A little sleeve on that one. I think it's a piece from the damper itself. So I thought this side would be a lot easier because you don't have to maneuver anything around the exhaust, but for whatever reason this damper was a lot harder to compress.
You never use a hammer working on a car. Tell you, working on one of these.
And granted, it would be a lot easier to do this if I just dragged the truck up to unload the suspension and then I wouldn't have to compress the damper at all. But I didn't really think about that until right now, and even if I had, I'm pretty lazy. Not bad. It's a lot better. I low-key got a lot dirtier doing that than I thought I would. That was rough. It's pretty crazy that I've been working on this truck for 2 years. Well, I bought it 2 years ago. I guess I started YouTube a little under 2 years ago. But I bought those dampers like almost 2 years ago. It's pretty crazy. I haven't been working on this for a while. I thought I would work on the Envoy, but the Envoy has kind of just turned into my daily driver. I haven't done anything on the camper project. I kind of want to get another project car, but I can't really do that until I finish this, or at least get it more reliably finished. Maybe I'll sell it. Now that I think about it, I could just buy a lift and put the next project car on top of this. But I got a good list of stuff to do. I got parts on the way to do it. I promise the next video will not take 8 months, 10 months, however long it's been since I last showed you the progress on this. And I kind of forgot about YouTube this year because I was busy with work and running and vacations and stuff. Still having fun. I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It gives me a little bit of motivation. I'm very proud of having 100 of followers. Be cool to have more. So tell your friends. Yeah, that's about right.